Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew, and I'm an alcoholic. We want to welcome you to this platform here today, regardless of what your addiction may be. You're welcome here. We support multiple pathways to recovery, and we want this program to work for you. I want to pitch right in, first and foremost, and say how awesome it was to sit and catch up with some of you guys last night at the Point Cafe meeting. It feels like forever since I've been there. It has been. It's almost been 2 months. I have to remind myself that out of every year, I spend 10 months preparing for the 2 months that I'm coming to the end of right now. 10 months in the rooms, trying to get fed and learn as much as I can. So whenever I do hit this 2-month period of travel and baseball and all that, I'm ready to go. The good news is I'm coming to the end of my 2-month period, so I'll be able to get back in some of those meetings, back in the rooms with you guys, and I'm really excited. And again, it was just great to see you guys and catch up with some of y'all last night. So with that being said, I want to talk today about steps. Actually, one step, just one. And I have tried to be very clear and transparent with my own sobriety, my own recovery journey. I've also been very clear in saying I don't want you to think that I'm trying to push one certain way of recovery down anybody's throat. That's not it at all. For me, the way I got sober was through the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, through the 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous. That's what worked for me, so that's all I know. When it comes to recovery, that's all I know. And so that's why when I share my experience, strength, and hope, I'm sharing within the context of AA. Again, AA may not work for you. NA may not work for you. These 12-step programs may not work for you, but there is one step, regardless of what your addiction may be it drinking or drugs, and as long as you want to quit, there's at least one step you have to take. And it's not any formal step, it's college step. When shit goes south, goes bad in somebody's life, and they're trying to get clean and trying to get sober, and something big happens, I'll ask them, what step are you working? What's your step? And they look at me like I've got a third eyeball on my forehead. Like, what are you? I don't follow AA. I don't follow NA. I don't work those steps. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. But there is one step, and what that means is it's a 4-letter acronym. It's an acronym. STEP stands for Sobriety Threatening Event Plan. Sobriety Threatening Event Plan. What is your step? And what that looks like, and again, I'm speaking outside of the realm of AA. I had this early on in my sobriety. I did this early on, and I still kind of do it in a way. Sobriety threatening event plan. So in the event that something comes along and threatens my sobriety, what's my plan? That's all it is. What is my plan of action? When something comes along and threatens my sobriety, what am I going to do? For me, early on, that looked like I had a whole slew of telephone numbers in my phone, my mobile device, and they all started with AA, AA Joe, AA George, AA Fred, AA Susie, AA this person. They all started with AA because when I pulled up my contact list, in the event that I needed somebody, and I pulled up my contact list, AA. It all started with AA. So there's all my AA contacts. Whether they're in AA or not, I just listed as AA. George, Susie, Frank, Fred, Rita, whoever, they're all right there. The first and foremost, and I remember early on that I had a big event take place that I was okay, but I could have easily seen myself going back out and drinking because of it. And what did I do? I pulled up my phone and started calling people. And it took me 3 people to reach out to before somebody finally said, hey, I'm on my way. In this day and age, we have the ability to communicate real time, like not just talking over the phone, but texting. I tell the guys that I sponsor, call me. If I don't answer, text me. I will respond to text a lot quicker because I may be on a conference call, may be doing something else. So just text me. You're more apt to get a quicker response if you text me. Again, that's a form of communication, but they can call, they can text, they can email, they can swing over by my house, whatever. We live in an age where communication, there's so many ways to communicate. And so the first step in that step is to have a whole network of people ready for me to speed dial in the event that, something happens and I need to talk to somebody. The second thing I try to do in that STEP, the sobriety threatening event plan, is make sure I have plenty of things to occupy my time. That way I don't ever get hit with moments of boredom, because when I get bored, sometimes this thing starts going a little crazy and I start thinking, right? I don't want that. So I want to make sure that my brain and my mind, my thoughts are consistently occupied with something. And if I find myself reaching a point where, okay, it's kind of a lull during my day, I'll go find something to get into. And I'll cut the grass, or I don't know, try to fix something around the house. God knows I need a lot of that, but regardless. So, I have my list of contacts, my AA contacts, first and foremost on my phone. I always try to keep something, or have something ready to do in the event that I start to get a little bit bored. Maybe as I go research something or read or whatever. Try to cook a new meal, new type of dish or something. I don't know. Always keeping myself busy, because when I get bored, this thing starts going a little crazy. Also, the people you hang around with early on in your recovery, that can be a big factor as well too. So making sure that if I do associate with people outside of my immediate office anyway, I make sure that they don't have to be on the same recovery journey. Matter of fact, they don't have to be in recovery at all, but I have to make sure that they're not drinking. I'm okay with it at this point, but I remember early on, I had to make sure that they weren't drinking, because that was the furthest thing from my mind at that point, early in my recovery. So make sure the people that you're around are the people you want to hang around early in your sobriety. So again, your STEP, that sobriety threatening event plan, is got to be your own. It's got to be what you decide it to be. It doesn't have to look a certain way or have certain functions in it. Whatever you think is going to work for you, because at the end of the day, whatever you're doing to get sober has got to work for you, right? That's why you're trying to get sober. That's why you're trying to get clean. So it's got to be able to work for you. It's got to be something of a plan that you can adhere to, like an exercise routine or a running routine or a diet. It's got to be something you can adhere to, you can follow. You need to write it on a sheet of paper, and then memorize it and stick to it. I was thinking earlier, I have 5 dogs here, and they are the biggest bunch of knuckleheads I've ever met. One of them is really, really big, and he's really, really mean. He is so protective. And to us, he's a big baby, but he is so protective. And if someone comes in the yard, he's ready to just tear them to shreds, and he probably could. But that's one of the things I love about him, is he is so protective. He wants to protect his environment, his surroundings. We need to do the same thing with our steps. Whatever we got to do to protect our step, to protect our plan, to protect our sobriety, we have to be just as aggressive. We have to do whatever we have to in order to protect our sobriety, and that means protecting our plan of action. All right, so I want to encourage you with that. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for this morning. I appreciate you guys letting me come in and share with you 5 to 10 minutes. Again, it keeps me sober. This is part of my STEP as well. So if you guys need anything, feel free to reach out. If you have your own ideas that you'd like to hear discussed, feel free to drop it in the Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, or you can email me directly, Drew, DREW, @soberschool.org. I'll let you guys go. Hope you have a kick-ass day. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.